Welcome back to my studio. Today I am working on one of my limited originals. This painting, I showed you the full piece in the beginning and then a close-up of the flowers that I'm going to be working on. These are called limited original. They are high quality reproductions on canvas. They're Giclees, but then I go back in and I paint on each one. I have already done the sunflowers, the wisteria that you saw in the very beginning. I still have to do the geraniums, the white flowers, and I don't know that they're in the frame, but the pink hollyhocks. I have done these orange flowers. These are called limited originals because each one is part of a very limited edition, but since I go back in and paint on each one, they're all different. So each one is an original within that limited edition. So Jack came up with the term limited original. These flowers, these daisies, are going to be, I'm going to come back in and start repainting on the flowers. And I use some of the same mixes that I used in the original painting. I'm using ultramarine blue plus white and dioxazine purple plus white. I'm going to use, let me make a little mix here of my phthalo blue plus white. Now this piece is going to be going to Canada. So I am using alkyd oils for this. They come in the very same colors as regular oils. They're made by Winsor Newton. It's called Griffin Alkyd, and they dry quicker than regular oil paints. They mix the same way, you get the same quality of colors. And if you ever need to do an oil painting that you need to dry quickly, just get yourself some alkyd oils. They work just like regular oils, and they just dry. This will be dry in about 3 days rather than several weeks for the thicker paint. So I'll be able to ship this then to Canada fairly quickly. And since it's going internationally, I can pack it where I put the painting in, once it's dry I can put it in a plastic bag and then put bubble wrap on the face of it. And so we can make the box as small as we can, because the international shipping you're charged by the size of the box. So you want the box to be as small as it can, but still ship the art safely. Now I'm coming back with just my pure white, and you can see how that's much brighter than what's on the print, the Giclée. And the Giclées go a little bit cool when they're printed, so this really makes the colors pop. The warm colors of the sunflowers and all of my different colors really just pop on this. These white flowers really stand out from the background. And again, I come back in and just add some of those pretty little colors, the lavenders, the blues. Those make the shadow colors of my white daisies. And I want variation in there. I don't want them all to be the same. If you look at flowers and the petals of the flowers, they're not all the same color. There's a lot of variation within the shadows and all the different areas of the flowers. So I may have a lot of variation in the colors on my flowers. The light's coming in from the left, so these just tipping these daisies. It's kind of fun doing this just to see how it comes alive when I start adding the warm colors and the bright whites on here. This original piece was called Vista of Joy. And it's going, my collector is, they love Italy, they love Tuscany, and that's San Gimignano in the background, which is a little village in Tuscany. Just a beautiful little village. Oh my gosh. Jack and I just loved it. I think it goes back, you know, the 13th century. It was, there was a plague and everyone died, and the buildings are just ancient. Fortunately now everything's fine, disease free, but it's just amazing. I mean, here in America everything is so young compared to Europe, and so you would go over there and see those old buildings. I wish the buildings could talk. Wow, can you imagine the stories they'd tell? Just be absolutely fascinating. But you just are surrounded by history. My collector loves wine, he and his wife, and so this is going to go in their wine room. Just bring them reminders of their visits to Tuscany. A little bit of light tipping that one right there. Now I'm going to come back, and my foliage then is phthalo blue plus lemon yellow. And again, these are the same colors in the alkyd oils that you get in the regular oils. Next time you're buying art supplies, you can go to cheapjoes.com or jerrysartorama.com. They have the Griffin alkyds. I'll just put in alkyd, let's see how it's spelled, ALKYD. And it's just really nice if you need your paint to dry a little quicker than regular oils. I do not like using acrylics. Acrylics, there are a couple things. They dry darker than what you paint, and you can't mix the colors very well. So I prefer to use oils. I like to work wet into wet, and so acrylics dry too quickly for that. Now the centers of these flowers, I'm going to use my mahl stick for this. This is a hook on a 6-foot stainless steel pole. We got these at the Container Store, and they are used to lift clothes off of a tall clothes rack. But we got these in San Diego in, I think, 1997 or 1998. The price was $19.95. And I had one of my followers contact me the other day and said they are the exact same price if you go to containerstore.com. So I think that's pretty amazing. And I'm using mixtures of, this is cadmium red deep for my darkest center, the darker colors, and then cadmium red light for the ones that are lighter. And then I'm using a little cadmium orange on some of these just to make them even a little brighter. Now in that center, I come back in. That's a 2-part process. I come back in and I'm going to make a small dot in the middle, and this is my mud. This is 2 parts ultramarine blue plus 1 part alizarin crimson. And I'm just redoing these centers because I want them to be brighter than they would have been had I not repainted them. And I'm just resting my wrist on the mahl stick, and that allows me to steady my hand as I make these centers. I do a lot of repainting on my limited originals. This, I repainted the red door, I'm repainting all the flowers. I even went back in and added some extra color on the floor. And I signed them like my original paintings. They're signed on the front. Then on the back I put the number of the edition and the number that the piece is. I numbered on the back, and I put hand embellished Giclée on canvas, limited original. That way anybody that looks at it on the back, then they know that this is not an original oil painting, that it is a limited original. But you can put this side by side to one of my original oil paintings, and across the room you really can't tell the difference. Now I'm going to do a little bit of just some of these. I'm going to come back in and just even highlight that little center a little bit more with some cadmium yellow medium. Not all of them, just a few. Just to give a little depth and dimension to the flowers. I also wanted to mention, if you see some of my older videos, they did not have sound. Took me a while to work up the courage to add voice. So if you watch a video, just if it's before like, the middle of 2017 and you don't get any sound, that's why. I didn't make them with sound. It just took me a while to work up the courage to start doing that. If you ever have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section. And I just really appreciate you watching my YouTube videos. So there we are. Those white flowers are embellished. And I thank you again. If you would like to see the entire step-by-step process of embellishing this piece, please visit my blog. The link is in the description below. The address is also on the final frame of the video. So you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And just today, if you're out and about and you see somebody needing some help, take a moment and just stop and help them. You might be at the grocery store and see a lady with some crying kids in the basket and she's trying to load her groceries and just having a hard time. Go over and give her a hand. Just be a friend to somebody you don't even know. So anyway, you have a great day and come visit again.